Have you ever noticed how the nights seem to stretch longer as we get older? You lie down at 10 p.m., praying for 7 solid hours. But instead, you toss, you turn, and by 2 a.m., you're staring at the ceiling, wondering if morning will ever come. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Nearly 1 in 3 American adults struggles to get enough sleep, and for those of us over 50, the challenge often feels even sharper. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Poor sleep isn't just about feeling groggy in the morning. It's about your heart health, your memory, your energy, and even how long you live. The quality of your nights shapes the quality of your days. That's why in today's video on Senior Health After 50, we're going to dig into 6 sensible, science-backed tips that can help you reclaim the deep, restorative rest your body craves. And before we dive into those strategies, we'll break down why sleep gets trickier with age. Because if we don't understand the why, we'll never fix the how. So, if you've ever wanted to wake up truly refreshed again, this video is for you. And if you find value here, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend who could use better sleep, and subscribe to Senior Health After 50 for more practical, science-driven advice to help you live stronger, healthier, and longer. Why sleep becomes harder with age. A lot of people believe that the older we get, the less sleep we actually need. That's one of the biggest myths in medicine. The truth is simple. Whether you're a 5-year-old entrepreneur hustling through Silicon Valley or a 5-year-old retiree enjoying your grandkids, your body still craves 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night. The need doesn't change. What changes is our ability to achieve it. As the decades pass, our sleep becomes more fragile. Hormones that once flowed freely, especially melatonin, the hormone that whispers to the brain, "It's time to rest," start to decline. Our circadian rhythm, that finely tuned internal clock, begins to shift. Suddenly, you might find yourself yawning at 8 p.m. and then wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling. Add medications, chronic conditions, or lifestyle habits into the mix, and the cycle gets even more complicated. Now, what actually gets in the way? Sometimes it's the habits we don't think twice about. That evening coffee with friends, the glass of wine to wind down, or scrolling through late-night news on a glowing phone screen. Each of these can sabotage the body's natural sleep drive. Other times, the culprit is medical. Insomnia, where you wrestle with the pillow, either trying to fall asleep or struggling to stay asleep. Sleep apnea, a silent but dangerous condition where breathing pauses repeatedly through the night, depriving your brain of oxygen. Left untreated, it's been linked to strokes, high blood pressure, and even memory decline. President Bill Clinton openly discussed how his doctor suspected sleep apnea as a contributor to his heart troubles. Restless leg syndrome, or periodic limb movements that force you to twitch and toss instead of drifting into deep rest. And in the most heartbreaking cases, Alzheimer's disease or dementia, where the brain's internal clock becomes scrambled, leading to nights of wandering or calling out, and days of exhaustion. When I was a young doctor, a mentor told me something I carry with me even today. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a vital sign. Just like heart rate, blood pressure, or body temperature, sleep tells us volumes about the state of our health, and when it breaks down, the consequences ripple through every system. Poor sleep raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, depression, obesity, kidney damage, and even falls the #1 cause of injury among older adults. Think of leaders like Ronald Reagan or Margaret Thatcher, both famously proud of surviving on only 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Years later, both faced significant cognitive decline, including Alzheimer's. Science now shows us that deep sleep clears the brain of toxic proteins like beta amyloid, the very substance linked to dementia. Skipping sleep is like skipping trash collection in a city. Eventually, the waste piles up. The lesson is clear. Sleep doesn't just recharge us, it protects our hearts, our brains, and even our dignity as we age. And while the world may admire those who sleep less and achieve more, biology always has the final word. The cost of sleeplessness. Think back to the last time you pulled an all-nighter. Maybe it was years ago, when you stayed up with a sick child, crammed for an exam, or traveled across time zones. The next day, everything felt heavier, your brain was foggy, your temper was short, and even simple tasks felt like climbing a hill in sandbags. Now picture that same feeling happening not once in a while, but night after night, year after year. That's the reality millions of older adults live with, and it doesn't just make mornings harder, it slowly reshapes the body and the brain. As a physician, I can't say short sleep directly caused their decline, But today's science is clear. Sleep is when the brain takes out the trash. During deep rest, a cleaning system called the glymphatic pathway flushes out toxic proteins like beta amyloid, the same proteins that pile up in Alzheimer's. Skip sleep too often, and it's like skipping garbage pickup in New York City. At first, you don't notice, but after weeks, months, years, the waste takes over the streets. And it's not only about memory. Sleeplessness drives up the risk of stroke, heart disease, obesity, depression, and kidney problems. Even your balance suffers. I once treated a retired judge in his 70s who kept falling at home. He assumed it was arthritis, but sleep studies revealed severe sleep apnea. Once treated, not only did his alertness return, but his fall risk dropped dramatically. On the other side of the spectrum, we see the power of sleep in cultures that embrace it. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the longest living people in the world, researchers found something simple but profound: consistent, natural sleep. People there go to bed shortly after sunset, rise with the dawn, and live in harmony with natural light. That rhythm seems to protect their hearts, sharpen their minds, and extend their lives. Contrast that with our modern world of midnight Netflix binges and glowing screens, it's not hard to see why we're struggling. The lesson here is that sleeplessness comes with a price tag we can't afford. Whether you're a head of state, a CEO, or a retiree enjoying grandkids, the cost of cutting sleep shows up sooner or later in memory, in mood, and in health. The 6 sensible sleep tips. Tip number 1, keep a steady sleep schedule. One of the simplest, yet most powerful prescriptions I give my patients doesn't come in a pill bottle, it's consistency. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every single day, even on weekends, acts like medicine for your body's internal clock. When your brain knows exactly when to expect rest, it naturally releases melatonin at the right hour, and over time, your body begins to trust the rhythm. Think about it this way. If you water a garden at random times, sometimes at dawn, sometimes at midnight, the plants struggle. They wilt, they don't bloom right, and they're vulnerable to pests. But water them on a steady schedule, and suddenly, the entire garden flourishes. Your body works the same way. A consistent sleep schedule teaches your brain when it's time to rest, and when it's time to wake refreshed. From a medical perspective, irregular sleep schedules confuse the circadian rhythm, the body's master clock located in the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus. That clock controls not only sleep, but also hormone release, metabolism, and even immune function. When it's out of sync, everything else suffers. Memory lapses, blood sugar swings, mood instability. I once treated a retired nurse in her late 60s who loved staying up late one night and then sleeping in the next. She complained of fatigue, dizziness, and forgetfulness. After months of testing, the most effective intervention wasn't another prescription, it was simply locking her bedtime and wake time into place. Within weeks, she came back smiling and said, "Doctor, I feel like someone rebooted me." The truth is, whether you're leading a nation, running a billion-dollar company, or just trying to keep up with the grandkids, your body thrives on rhythm. Consistency isn't boring, it's healing. Tip number 2, choose the right mattress. We spend nearly a third of our lives in bed, yet many people treat their mattress like an afterthought. I've met patients sleeping on 2 zero-year-old beds that sag in the middle like a hammock, and then they wonder why their backs ache every morning. The truth is, the right mattress is not a luxury, it's a medical tool. Poor support at night contributes to spinal misalignment, joint pain, and restless tossing. When the body senses discomfort, it keeps shifting positions, preventing you from sinking into deep restorative sleep, the very stage when tissues repair and memory consolidates. And it's not just about firmness. Adjustable beds can ease acid reflux by raising the head, reduce snoring, and take pressure off arthritic joints. For those with circulation issues, elevating the legs can make a world of difference. Your mattress, in many ways, is like your shoes. If you wear poor shoes, every step hurts. If you sleep on the wrong bed, every morning hurts. Choosing the right one is an investment in every waking moment of your life. Tip number 3, avoid heavy meals and stimulants before bed. One of the most overlooked saboteurs of good sleep hides right on our dinner plates. A heavy steak dinner at 9 p.m., a late night coffee, or even that relaxing glass of wine can quietly rob you of the rest your body needs. Here's the science. When you eat a large meal before bed, your digestive system kicks into high gear. Instead of shutting down and letting your body focus on repair, your stomach is working overtime. That can lead to acid reflux, indigestion, or just that uncomfortable feeling of being too full to rest. Add caffeine or nicotine to the mix, and you're practically telling your brain, stay awake, stay alert. Even alcohol, which many believe helps them doze off, is deceptive. While it may make you drowsy, it disrupts the deeper stages of sleep, leading to 2 or 3 a.m. awakenings. The takeaway is simple. Your evening should be about winding down, not winding up your digestive system. Swap the steak and coffee for herbal tea, a handful of almonds, or a banana. Your body and your brain will thank you with deeper, uninterrupted rest. Tip number 4, limit daytime naps. Naps can feel like a gift, especially as we get older. A short rest after lunch can refresh the mind, lower stress, and even improve memory. But here's the catch. Too much napping during the day can backfire, leaving you wide awake at night when you most need restorative sleep. The science is straightforward. Long or late naps confuse your circadian rhythm. Your brain thinks, oh, we've already had our rest, and delays releasing melatonin at night. That's why people who nap for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon often find themselves staring at the ceiling past midnight. As a physician, I often compare naps to appetizers. A small one can stimulate your appetite for the main course, but if you overdo it, you'll spoil dinner. In the same way, a short nap can boost your energy without stealing from the deep, restorative sleep your body craves at night. So if you feel the need to nap, keep it short and sweet, 20 to 45 minutes, and earlier in the day. Think of it as pressing the reset button, not replacing the whole night's sleep. Tip number 5, wind down with a routine. Our bodies thrive on signals. Just as a baby learns that a lullaby means it's time to sleep, adults also benefit from rituals that whisper to the brain, the day is done, it's safe to rest. Creating a calming bedtime routine is one of the most underrated secrets for deep, restorative sleep. From a medical standpoint, a wind-down routine lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and primes the nervous system to shift from fight or flight into rest and repair. Without that transition, your mind can stay wired long after you've turned off the lights. Your routine doesn't have to be complicated. It might be reading a few pages of a novel, listening to calm music, practicing gentle stretches, or sipping chamomile tea. The key is repetition, teaching your brain and body to recognize the cues. Think of it like preparing an airplane for landing. The lights dim, the engines ease down, and everything slows until the wheels touch the ground. Your nightly routine works the same way it brings you safely into the runway of sleep. Tip number 6, avoid screens before bed. One of the biggest enemies of modern sleep doesn't come from caffeine or stress. It comes from the glowing screen in your hand. Phones, tablets, TVs, and laptops all emit blue light that tricks the brain into thinking it's still daytime. That light suppresses melatonin, the very hormone that signals your body it's time to wind down. I often tell my patients, staring at a phone in bed is like drinking an espresso shot at midnight. You might not feel it instantly, but your brain does. Science backs this up. Studies show that exposure to blue light before bedtime can delay melatonin release by as much as 90 minutes. That means if you normally fall asleep at 10, your brain may not get the sleep signal until nearly midnight. The fix doesn't have to be complicated. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Read a physical book, listen to music, or try gentle stretches instead. If you must use a device, wear blue light blocking glasses or enable night mode. But remember, nothing beats going fully unplugged. Think of it this way, your bedroom should be a sanctuary for rest, not a 24-hour news center or office. By removing screens, you're telling your brain, this space is for sleep, not stimulation. Creating the perfect sleep environment. The bedroom is more than just 4 walls and a bed. It's supposed to be your sanctuary. When you walk into that space at night, everything in it should whisper to your brain, it's safe now, it's time to rest. Creating the right environment may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful medicines for better sleep. 1. Cool. Science shows our body temperature naturally drops at night to signal sleep. If your room is too warm, your brain struggles to make that transition. That's why the sweet spot for most adults is between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Patients of mine often discover that turning down the thermostat just a couple of degrees works better than any sleeping pill. 2. Quiet. Silence allows the brain to dive into deep, restorative stages of sleep. But the world doesn't always cooperate. Snoring partners, city traffic, or barking dogs can sabotage the night. In those cases, earplugs or a white noise machine can make all the difference. Bill Gates, for example, has admitted he uses white noise to help shut out distractions when he needs true focus and rest. I once worked with a retired musician who lived near a busy intersection. The day he added a white noise machine, he told me, "Doctor, it feels like I moved to the countryside overnight." 3. Dark. Darkness tells the brain to release melatonin, the hormone that triggers sleep. A single ray of light from a street lamp or a glowing alarm clock can interfere. That's why blackout curtains or sleep masks are game changers. 4. Clutter-free. A messy room doesn't just trip you up physically, it weighs on the mind. Piles of laundry, boxes on the floor, or stacks of paperwork create mental noise that lingers into bedtime. Think of it like trying to meditate in the middle of Times Square. The truth is, your bedroom is not an office, not a movie theater, and definitely not a dining hall. It should be your temple of rest, the place where your body and mind reset so you can show up fully for life the next day. Even world leaders and business titans, juggling immense responsibility, understand that without a restful sanctuary at night, their daylight hours fall apart. The power of non-drug remedies. When people struggle with sleep, the first instinct is often to reach for a pill. And yes, medications can sometimes help in the short term. But in decades of practice, I've learned that the most powerful, lasting fixes are often the simplest, and they don't come from a pharmacy. 1. Chamomile tea. For centuries, this herbal tea has been used as a natural sedative. It works by binding to the same receptors in the brain as anti-anxiety drugs, but in a gentler way. Even today, research shows chamomile can reduce stress and help with mild insomnia. 2. Warm milk. It may sound old-fashioned, but there's science behind it. Milk contains tryptophan, an amino acid that helps the body produce melatonin and serotonin, both crucial for sleep. 3. Tart cherry juice. This one surprises people. Tart cherries are one of the few natural sources of melatonin. Studies have shown that drinking tart cherry juice can extend sleep time by nearly an hour in older adults. Olympic athletes have even used it to speed recovery and improve rest. 4. Evening walks. Exposure to natural light during the day and dimming lights at night help reset the circadian rhythm. One of my patients, a retired librarian, began taking a 20-minute stroll at dusk. She later told me, "It's not just helping me sleep, I feel calmer, like my day has a proper ending." The lesson here is clear. Before leaning on sleeping pills with their side effects, give your body the chance to respond to nature's pharmacy. Gentle, consistent remedies often outperform quick fixes, and they do so without robbing you of your clarity or balance the next morning. Frequently asked questions. 1. What is the best treatment for insomnia in older adults? The first step is always evaluation, finding out why you're not sleeping. Sometimes it's sleep apnea, sometimes it's restless legs, and sometimes it's just poor habits. The gold standard today is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, which retrains your brain and body to sleep naturally. It's far more effective in the long run than pills. Medications may help short-term, but they often come with side effects like grogginess, balance problems, or even memory lapses. Today we use structured methods that echo that same principle, calming the body, training the brain. 2. Why do older adults have more trouble sleeping at night? The reasons are complex. Melatonin production decreases, circadian rhythms shift earlier, and medical conditions or medications interfere. Add in anxiety, loneliness, or even late-night screen use, and the recipe for broken sleep is complete. 3. How can I sleep better at night naturally? Natural remedies work best when combined. Stick to a strict schedule, dim the lights an hour before bed, avoid screens, keep the room cool and dark, and try calming rituals like meditation or tea. Foods and drinks can help too. Chamomile tea, warm milk, or tart cherry juice are proven aids. The answers are clear. Sleep problems aren't inevitable with age. They're signals, your body's way of asking for better routines, cleaner environments, and respect for the rhythms nature designed. Closing story and lesson. Not long ago, I spent time studying the lives of people in the blue zones, those rare regions where living past 90 or even 100 is almost normal. In Sardinia, I met a 6-year-old shepherd who still climbed the rugged hills with his goats every morning. When I asked about his secret, he didn't mention supplements, expensive treatments, or miracle gadgets. He smiled and said, in simple Italian, "I sleep with the sun and I wake with the sun." His wisdom was as clear as the mountain air around him. Our bodies are designed for rhythm, rest, and renewal. It reminded me of something we often forget in modern life. Leaders like Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan once boasted about sleeping only a few hours a night. History, however, shows us the price they paid. Both faced Alzheimer's disease later in life. Contrast that with figures like Jeff Bezos, who openly insists on 8 hours of sleep as his greatest productivity tool, or Michelle Obama, who has emphasized balance, routine, and rest as the foundation for her health, even during her years in the White House. The lesson is universal. Sleep is not wasted time, it's invested time. It's the nightly maintenance that clears the brain, repairs the body, and stabilizes the heart. I've seen this in my own patients too. One retired physician in his 80s once told me, "I used to chase every new diet and supplement, but the real fountain of youth was right under my nose, my pillow." Sometimes the answers aren't complicated. You don't need to chase trends or punish yourself with extremes. If you respect your sleep, if you honor that natural cycle of rest and renewal, you're not just adding years to your life. You're adding clarity, strength, and joy to the years you already have. So here's my challenge for you. Over the next 2 weeks, choose just one of these 6 tips and make it part of your nightly routine. Maybe it's turning off the television an hour earlier, cutting out that late afternoon coffee, or finally creating a calming ritual before bed. Write in the comments which one you're going to try. I'd love to hear your plan. And who knows, your story might inspire someone else in this community to take that same step. Remember, small changes can create big results. Better sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's about protecting your heart, sharpening your memory, and giving you the energy to enjoy life after 50. And if this video gave you something valuable, please take a moment to like the video, share it with a friend or loved one who might need it, and subscribe to Senior Health After 50. Together, we can build healthier habits, stronger bodies, and longer lives. Sweet dreams, my friends, and may your nights be as restorative as your days are joyful.